Good afternoon, ladies and gents. This is Keith here again. And for those of you that are following my mini twig tree build, the 10-foot twig tree, I wanted to do a follow-up on my previous build video. I know I promised a couple of you that I would show it lit up once I got through with it. I have completed the wiring on it, and what you're looking at now is obviously just a half a tree. Wanted to explain to you some of the modifications I made as I went with the build and give you some statistics on it. And obviously the first modification is I decided to cut the tree in half. Yes, you can build this as a full 10-foot twig tree, but I'm finding that a twig tree that size is a little difficult to handle. I mean, I could do it. I have plenty of space to store it, but it's just much easier to handle if you cut it in half and do 5-foot sections. Or in this case, this is about a 5.5 foot. As I said, I did get all the lights wired on it. It came up to a total of 744 lights. This thing does have 112 twigs on it, so the number of lights varies as you go up. Get a little closer here, I'll show you the way that I wired them. Most of you are not really going to like this. Basically, you come in on a twig, run the lights out, and at the end of the twig, you put an extension on to run back to the next twig. Now if you do your calculations, you'll see that comes up to 672 connection points, which is a lot of wiring. The only way you can get around that is if you wanted to special order pixels with 7 to 8 inch spacing. You could do what I refer to as the skip-a-hole method. You could run your pixels all the way up the full length, then fold it back and run your pixels in the spaces in between those pixels. You could do the entire tree, well, sections of the tree like that without having to do putting in your extensions. With me, I don't mind taking the extra time to do it. It took quite a while, but it's done. If you look here on the end of the twigs, these are 1/4 inch end caps, rubber end caps. If you do a search on Amazon for 1/4 inch rubber end caps, you'll see plenty of them out there. They're not that expensive. You'll find out working with a twig tree that you're going to run into the end of these things quite often. And it's a lot less painful if you put that rubber end cap on them. The biggest modification I made to this, as I said earlier, was cutting it in half. And I'll show you now how I made the connection point. Basically, I took a pipe cutter. Pipe cutters are recommended because it gives you the cleanest cut and you're not cutting out any of your material in here and losing some space. This trunk here is 1.5 inch EMT, so I took a piece of 1.25 inch EMT, slides right down in it, but there was a little too much play in it for me. I mean, it is usable that way, but I wanted to take some of that play out of it. So I cut a slit down the length of this piece and used a screwdriver to spread it open a little bit. And I took all that play out of it. And you'll see the self-drilling screws here that I used to attach that piece on here. And the top half of the tree just slides right down on that. And I'll show you that here in just a second. Now, as I said, the statistics on it, 744 pixels on 112 twigs. All the specifications on the twigs are in the original build video. I'm going to set up the camera, and we're actually going to put the top half of this thing on here, and I'll show you how easy it is to slide it on there. Now you see that slid on there real easy. I actually have a black mark on it to line it up with the lower half because you want all the twigs staggered the correct way. I also have I drilled a hole through the center of the top piece and the connection point. And I have this pin that I slide in it to hold it in place. As you can see, it folds out quick and easy. That's the way this was designed. Folds up small for storage and folds out quick and easy for quick setup. Now I'm going to take and do a quick little sequence on this thing, and as soon as it gets dark we'll see how it looks lit up. So I'll be right back with you.
Down in mid-Carolina, pumpkin pie's been made. Friends and family gather with others on their way. Presents have been opened, paper balls have been thrown, carols sung round the piano, and Santa's come and gone. It's a Carolina Christmas with all our family near. Most everything we ask for is given every year. Let's deck the halls with holly, don't forget the Christmas cheer. It's a Carolina Christmas, too bad it's once a year. The baby boy from heaven was born on Christmas Day. Shepherds gathered round him while he slept story told to us so many times before. He's the reason for the season, so let's celebrate once more. It's a Carolina Christmas with all our family near. Most everything we ask for is given every year. Let's deck the halls with holly, don't forget the Christmas cheer. It's a Carolina Christmas, too bad it's once a year. Yes, it's a Carolina Christmas with all our family near. Most everything we ask for is given every year. Let's deck the halls with holly, don't forget the Christmas cheer. It's a Carolina Christmas, too bad it's once a year. Yes, it's a Carolina